And thanks for hanging out. So I guess with this being my first video, I'll introduce myself. My name's Tyson. I first heard about Bitcoin, it would have been either 2012 or 2013. Didn't pay too much attention to it, was just like, all right, that's a thing, internet money, cool. Wasn't till about 2014 when I started buying it myself. It was definitely not an investment vehicle for me back then. It was a different time, you know, like we were using it, people were using it to transact. They certainly didn't see the value in holding it yet. And I didn't even realize that I was holding it through a bear market, just because it was a currency, right? Like I'd buy it and I'd spend it on something, and it was in my hands. Even though I was using it frequently, it was only ever in my hands for no more than maybe a week at a time. So all this stuff here, it just felt like chop, and I wasn't paying attention to it in the way that we do now. But yeah, I guess fast forward to now, the way I trade is just trying to capture these long-term shifts in value. The lows in the cycle I buy, highs in the cycle I sell. My strategy is pretty simple, so don't expect short time frame trades from this channel. But if you are looking for someone to chill with, just talk about the markets in general, and add a little bit of perspective where we're at, then come hang out, tune in. Hit that subscribe button. It'll be great to hang out, and we'll go through this together. Another thing that I should probably mention is I'm a bit cynical when it comes to the whole crypto ecosystem. So this video, for example, is on layer ones, right? We're going to jump into these in a second, rank them. I'll give you my thoughts on each individual project. We'll deep dive them a bit and then rank them on this tier list here. Layer ones are, let's chat about how before we jump into this too much, let's chat about how your crypto cycles tend to go as a whole. So generally speaking, Bitcoin price goes up, right? We see these big moves like we're seeing at the moment. It starts to top out, and then at some point it's going to come back down, right? We're trying to buy down here, we're trying to sell up here. Pretty straightforward. What some people might not realize though, especially if you're new, is so lately we've seen Bitcoin surging. There are some altcoins that are doing well, but typically speaking, Bitcoin has been outperforming the rest of the market, an average of the rest of the market, an average of your altcoins for at least a year and a half. And we can show that here. If I go Bitcoin dominance, right? Yeah, so you can see ever since November of 2022, it has just been on a absolute charge, right? So Bitcoin dominance, it doesn't tell you the price of Bitcoin. All it tells you is the market capitalization of Bitcoin compared to the market capitalization of everything else in the crypto ecosystem. And if you're taking into account your risk-adjusted returns, you're better off holding Bitcoin ever since November 2022. That's just a fact. So back to this. What you'll typically see is Bitcoin go on these big surges, right? Through this period here, Bitcoin dominance goes up. We've seen that. It could keep going further, I'm not too sure. But what you'll typically see once this starts to roll over here, that's when you start to see value get translated and transferred, entered into smaller projects. So normally the things you'll see run next, maybe like a week, 2 weeks later, you might see Ethereum run, right? So what we're trying to do, ride this up. When we think we're getting close to this, that rollover, we'll try and move our bags into the next thing and then ride this wave and so on. Now, after Ethereum, you'll often see your other layer ones, they'll start to go, right? And then after that, the projects under them. After that, your meme coins, right? So we have Bitcoin, ETH, layer ones. Let's just go, your general smaller cap altcoins, and finally we have our dog coins, right? Our meme coins, our real degenerate players. I'll give him a hat because dog needs a hat. But yeah, so what we're trying to do, ride this up, catch the next wave. Ride this up, catch the next wave. Yeah, ride this up, catch the next wave. Ride this up, catch the next wave. So on, so on, so on. All we've seen so far is just this move here, right? This is where we're up to. So the video I'm making today is going to focus on Ethereum and layer ones. These can actually run at the same time. They are the same technology, but they just approach it a little bit differently, and my attitude towards Ethereum is a little bit different. Ethereum I consider to be a blue chip alongside Bitcoin, albeit, how do you say albeit? Albeit? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Albeit.
So albeit you're taking on more risk, right? And that's just the nature of it being a smaller market cap coin that's not been around for as long. We can argue about the utility compared to something like Bitcoin with Ethereum, or also Ethereum versus layer ones. My personal opinion is that in terms of risk, this is how I prioritize it. Bitcoin's the safest, then Ethereum, then your layer ones. It's going this way, right? I'm just worried about price action, right? I'm just trying to pick these up, dump, pick these up, dump. I'm here to make money. I'm not in it for the tech. And I mean, if you are, that's great. I think most people would be kidding themselves if they said they truly didn't care about price action though, right? You probably wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't. But yeah, I guess with that said, let's jump into it. So I was saying before that I believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum are blue chips. I think that your layer ones do have utility. The problem with that being that their ecosystems have no use case currently, right? I hope that changes. I'd love to see it change, obviously. But as of right now, 99% of your projects are just straight up grifts, scams, frauds, nonsense Ponzi schemes that are designed to extract value from yourself, the investor, and put it into the hands of someone who bought it at fractions on the dollar of the price that it was even released at. That's just the cold hard truth about it. I would love to see this change, but for now, that's just how it is. Layer ones, they do have utility, but the utility at the moment is just a foundation for vaporware. Right, that's all it is. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's jump into it. So layer ones, I'm going to do a tier list. We're going to rank them obviously S, A, B, C, D, E, F based on a few things that I care about. And let's jump to coin market cap. So Ethereum obviously is your number 2 coin. I've already ranted about it a little bit. The only thing that I would like to add is just my concern for the lack of drawdown during the bear market. Now, to be completely transparent, I am actually stacking Ethereum at the moment. The reason being is that I bought a lot of Bitcoin right here. Macro wasn't looking great. I already had my price target, which was this level. I bought in heavy. I got lucky. It's been going up ever since, right? Macro looks terrible. I can do another video on that, but I have held off buying altcoins for a long time now, just because I'm worried that we're going to get a dump that way if things turn pear-shaped. Crypto as a whole, including Bitcoin, is obviously inherently more risky, or at least viewed as a higher risk than your more conservative plays like cash, for example, gold, all those things, even stocks. So yeah, if we see a larger market crash, crypto's not going to hold up great. It'll likely present a great opportunity for those with cash on the side, and that's why I've held my cash throughout here. Because of that, and also because Bitcoin has been gaining value against ETH for a long time, I haven't wanted to touch it because, again, risk-adjusted returns, if I'm going to put my money anywhere, it's safer in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is making me more money than Ethereum has been, right? Now, I feel like with us, again, going back to this run-up stage here, that could be about to change. So I've started stacking Ethereum because I don't want to miss out on this, and I'm just trying to get some exposure to it to preempt that run if it happens. And yeah, this becomes clear when you invert this. So ETH divided by Bitcoin, right? We take a look at the highs. We do a drawdown from your top point to your bottom point. Ethereum has only lost value against Bitcoin by 45%, right? Ideally, I would like to see it go down closer to that 70-80% drawdown. Even 60% would be nice. So far, it has been holding value better than I expected. What does this mean? Either Ethereum has further to bleed against Bitcoin, or this may in fact not be a range, right? Back here, I made the assumption that this was an oscillator, and we're going to see Ethereum come back to around these levels here. If that doesn't happen, well, maybe Ethereum's going through a paradigm shift, and we will in fact see it grow up that way. And if we take a look at some other layer ones, you might see a few that are doing a similar thing to that, but we'll get to that now, I suppose. Let's jump in. I've probably ranted about Ethereum enough. It is always going to be the best layer one in terms of your risk-adjusted return, I believe. All these others that are trying to be Ethereum killers just don't tackle the problem the same way that Ethereum does. Ethereum has been around longer. It has far more development. It is, in my opinion, an S-tier chain, but right now it isn't showing as much value as I would like it to at this stage in the cycle. So for that reason, let's throw it in A tier. Next one, BNB. Obviously, we had this huge run up last bull run. Okay, anyone who jumped on that probably sitting pretty right now. In terms of recent price action, we're seeing a shallow drawdown during the bear market and a fair bit of strength recently. BNB's utility is that it is fast and cheap, right? It's easy to build on. That's where all of your shit coins come from. All your meme coins, your dogs, your monkeys, all them are generally speaking built on BNB. Tokenomics, fine. I wish it was telling me this max supply. That'd be nice. Let's take a look at that. Okay, yeah. So 60% of your BNB was divvied up during the ICO. And yeah, you can see that they got in at around 10 cents. So they're doing quite well at the moment. There was a 4-year vesting period from 2017. These tokens can go on the market at any point and have been able to since 2021. So pretty impressive that BNB is still up where it is. Whoever's holding that obviously has a fair bit of conviction. Let's take a look at the activity on the chain. So you can see here BNB heaps of apps built on it, right? Heaps of dApps. Again, like I said, this thing is easy to build on. It's where all your meme coins come from. Unique active addresses and wallets. Again, it seems to be quite an active chain. NFT volume, not a huge amount of NFTs on BNB. And your dApp volume is quite reasonable as well. I expect this will probably go up once we get to the real frothy stage of the bull market. Once we're not really at that meme coin stage yet, but yeah, if you start seeing Shiba, Dogecoin, all those dog coins popping off, this dApp volume's gonna shoot right up, as well as your DeFi, obviously, right? Taking a look at your BNB drawdown, taking a look at your BNB value against Bitcoin, you can see that for a long time, like I was saying earlier, just better off holding Bitcoin, right? It had a 74% drawdown against Bitcoin with recent strength after the pump. This chart looks good, right? Looks good. We're seeing a general trend in the right direction. It's gaining value against Bitcoin in the long term. Let's put it against Ethereum, because again, that, like I said, is our blue chip. So yeah, let's put it against Ethereum. We go BNB divided by ETH, because Ethereum is our blue chip layer 1. If it's not outperforming Ethereum, I've no reason to put my money there. It's better off in Ethereum. And we can see big rise to glory, rise to fame, right? Lost out against Ethereum for a while during this bull run, and then suddenly just rocket ship, right? Since then, been pretty flat. Ethereum has been gaining on it. Not surprising there, considering Ethereum's strength against Bitcoin. And let's take a look at this drawdown. Yeah, about 68%. Overall, would I add BNB to my portfolio? Probably not. My reason being just that it's so centralized, right? BNB is one of the most centralized layer 1s. It's a Binance token. Binance has had a lot of regulatory issues recently. I don't trust exchanges in general after the whole FTX thing. They're necessary for an on-ramp and an off-ramp. I'm not leaving coins on exchanges. You certainly should not. Look into self-custody, just do it. It makes sense. But yeah, I don't particularly trust exchanges. I wouldn't want an exchange token. With all this in mind, let's rank it. So BNB, I would put it as a C, right? It's fine. It's got a huge market cap. It's number 4. Can it grow? Yeah. In a bull run, all your projects are going to go up. This is not where I see value though. Number 4 project, it's not going to overtake Ethereum, right? Certainly not going to overtake Bitcoin. If I want to invest in a project, I want to invest in something that still has room to run. Okay, I'm more interested in these projects the further down we get. I'm also looking for newer projects, as well as projects that just have strong price action. This is fine, nothing wrong with it, but I think we can do better. So yeah, chuck it in C. It's okay. Next we have Solana. Solana has been on an absolute tear recently. It's more than 10x from the lows. Well done to anyone who got in here. Genuinely, like well done. Your circulating supply versus total supply, okay. It's okay. Solana, again, is centralized, fast, and cheap. These centralized, fast, and cheap projects, they're doing really well. I don't necessarily agree with the technology heading in that direction, but is what it is. Again, I don't plan on holding these things long term anyway. I just want to ride them in a bull run. Let's take a look at DApp Radar. Number of dApps. Solana, surprisingly, not heaps. Contracts, again, not heaps. I think when we start to get into your NFTs and stuff like that, that's where Solana really starts to shine. So yeah, you can see unique wallets. it's doing okay against the others for sure. DeFi, yeah, doing well, about where I'd expect it to be. NFTs, yeah, doing well. Transactions, look at that, yeah, heaps of usage, especially like you compare to the others. People are using this thing, and that's probably why it's had such ridiculous price action recently. You compare your transactions with the number of dApps, you can see BNB, although it has over 5,000 dApps on it, the actual volume of the transactions happening on that network is not as big. What does that tell us? It's just filled with garbage, right? That's what this information's telling me, that the stuff that's built on it just is not stuff that people are using. Solana, on the other hand, maybe it has fewer projects, but people are actually using it. And lastly, we have dApp volume. Again, yeah, lots of volume, doing well. So we'll jump over to TradingView. Let's go Sol, Bitcoin. Look at that strength. It's nearly at all-time highs against Bitcoin, which is crazy. Let's do a drawdown. So yeah, it had an 87% drawdown. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what these sorts of moves down against Bitcoin is what I wish I saw from Ethereum. We got that in 2018, 2019. We just haven't seen it yet. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Solana though, yeah, great drawdown. Anyone who is buying here, well done. Give yourselves a pat on the back. This is great. You deserve all the money that you are making now. We have seen a 500% gain on Bitcoin during Bitcoin's bull run, which is just awesome. Let's put it against ETH again. Looks like so far this could be an oscillation like I was talking about, right? This could be range bound. And when I'm comparing when I'm comparing Sol against Bitcoin, Sol against ETH, this is not Sol against the US dollar, right? This does not take into account whether your portfolio is going up or down in dollar terms. This is just in terms of your Bitcoin value and your Ethereum value. Probably a little too early to say for sure, but I'm curious if this is going to be an oscillator and we're going to see a retracement back to these lows here. That could be from Solana cooling off, or it could be Ethereum going on a tear. We'll see. Conversely, maybe it'll just break straight through this, right? We'll see. So how do I rank Solana? This has surprised me. Solana has great development. It's got great price action. I think, especially looking at this, especially looking at it against the US dollar, right, it has already moved a fair bit. If I'm looking to add something to my portfolio, I want something that it's in a stage of deeper value than this. I feel like, yeah, there's still money to be made, but the ship has left the port on this one, and I'm not about to jump in the water and swim after it. So Solana, let's throw it in B. We'll go B. Next we have Cardano. Let's jump in there. Alright, straight off the bat, big drawdown, gaining strength. The floor price higher than 2019, 2020, which is great. We're seeing growth there. This strength is good. This is the sort of strength that I like to see. A thing to take note about Cardano is that if you're around for the last bull run, you might remember that Cardano moved very early, right? This happened very early on in your bull run. From there, there were jokes being made that it's a stable coin, right? Like it just chopped sideways for ages. Now, what that means is there was plenty of time for all the retail coming in during the bull market, last bull run, to buy into this, right? There was also plenty of time for these people down here to offload their bags and get into other projects. I think we saw a huge shift of value from the early to the new in Cardano during this bull run. What that means is we might see some resistance once we start to get to these levels. Between that $1 to $1.50 price range, we might be swimming against the current a little bit. But with that being said, ADA I think has great fundamentals. I think in terms of your Ethereum killers, it's one of the better ones. Circulating supply is fine. It has an inflation rate of about 5% from memory, which it's not a bad thing. Like, people, especially in the crypto community, rag on about inflation a bit. I think it's fine, especially when that 5% is going to the people upholding the network, right? I think fundamentally an okay idea. If you're worried about your token being inflated away by 5% a year, if that's actually an issue for you, your token's not really doing much. So let's take a look at DApp radar, number of dApps. How's Cardano look? Pretty terrible. Not much development happening. Smart contracts, again, that's shocking. Active wallets, no. DeFi, off the page. NFTs, yeah, not great. Transactions are pretty terrible as well. DApp volume, maybe a little bit better, but still, like, this is, considering the market cap of Cardano, no, there's too much going against it. There's no development happening. People aren't using it, right? The utility is not there, and it's number 8. That's not a small market cap coin. Okay, I think we can find better. Let's take a look at your price action against BTC. Yeah, so we're seeing this possible oscillation again. You're down, you're up, you're down. Where's it going? Is this going to come back down here? Or is this a turnaround point and will it start gaining? Obviously, I don't know the answer to that question. But I think with everything we've looked at, it's not far-fetched to imagine that Bitcoin will just keep gaining on Cardano. I think Bitcoin's still got further to run. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Bitcoin go above 100k. Doesn't have to, but I wouldn't bat an eye if it did. Cardano might have trouble keeping up for a while. Doesn't mean it won't outperform. It probably will. It's probably going to outperform Bitcoin over the course of a bull run, but we could still see this bleed back down here before that happens. Take a look at it against Ethereum, and yeah, I mean, this is just, I wouldn't even call this an oscillator. I think this is sideways with a slight downwards bias, right? You can sort of see this channel that it's running in. Again, if I'm going to put my money somewhere, if I'm going to put my money in a layer 1, why not just put it in Ethereum? Why not? So, Cardano, where am I going to put it? Let's put this beside BNB. Avalanche is next. Take a quick look at that. Avalanche is one I've been looking at recently just because I think gaming is a really strong narrative, and Avalanche is sort of trying to nail that niche. So it's, in terms of your layer 1s, I'd like to hope that it's a reasonable play. Looking at price action, again, reasonable drawdown, higher floor price than it was in 2020, always good. We're seeing growth there. And then strength recently with the Bitcoin pump. All green flags, that's good. Circulating supply isn't great. Taking a look at DApp radar, AVAX, got a respectable amount of DApps, right? Certainly beating out others that have a higher market cap than itself, which would make sense with your games and whatnot, right? Contracts, again, quite respectable. It's above Solana. Love to see that. Active wallets, starting to fall behind a little bit. Something to remember about your unique active wallets as well. This can be misleading. I, for example, I don't have just one crypto wallet. I have a bunch of them. They all tend to have their unique purpose. Some of them I'll use for DeFi, and then others I just have obviously my HODL stacks and my long-term cold wallets. Take a look at DeFi. Yep, that's good, like that, promising. NFTs, not really what Avalanche is used for, and you can see that in the data. Coming in at number 15. Transactions, similar thing. So it's not being used heaps. There's development, there's people getting into the ecosystem with your active wallets, unique active wallets, but the actual on-chain usage isn't quite there yet. But the DApp volume, at least, is promising. Let's go AVAX Bitcoin. Yeah, look, the chart's fine. Don't hate it. We obviously have our rise to glory here. Bleed against Bitcoin during the bear market, to be expected. with a recent show of strength against Bitcoin during its pump. Pretty standard, I think, sort of story we're going to see a lot with all of these. All these charts are going to look pretty similar, but what you're looking for is just the skew. This one I think is pretty neutral. I don't think this range is an oscillator like we've seen with some of the others. I think if Bitcoin does what it has done every other halving, there's no reason it's not going to break these highs and push into price discovery mode against this Bitcoin pair. So yeah, it's fine. I'm happy with it. Against Ethereum, same story. Very similar chart. Rise to glory against its Ethereum pair. Bleed during the bear market. Again, Ethereum held up better than anything against Bitcoin. Yeah, where it's already sort of touched those all-time highs against ETH. A bit of a rejection, but I think it's only a matter of time before we break through those. Good chart. So how does it stack up? I'd put Avalanche as a B, right there with Solana. There's plenty of room to run for it. There's no reason why it's not going to do well this bull market. If you have your money in Avalanche, I wouldn't be rushing to take it out. That's for sure. So Tron, let's take a look at him next. Look at this chart, man. Look at this. This is pretty unique, I think. It's like the growth on Tron is almost unaffected by bull runs, right? It's got this big sort of exponential sweep up on the macro time frame, like since inception, 2018, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not trying to suggest that it means anything in particular in terms of its value against other coins. I guess we can take a look at that when we get to trading view, but I just think, like, as a spectacle, this is quite interesting. Looking at tokenomics, infinite max supply, not great. Never like to see that. Circulating in total, yeah, I mean, it doesn't give much away. Let's jump over to DApp Radar, dApps. Yeah, so a lot of dApps on Tron. Love it. Contracts, fine. Unique active wallets. Yeah, right down at the bottom. Not doing great. DeFi, no data. NFT volume, yeah, pretty lackluster. Transactions, nowhere to be seen. Decentralized application volume, yeah, pretty low again. So not seeing a huge amount of activity on Tron, not much development, not much building, not much use. Let's take a look at trading view, Tron Bitcoin. It's just sort of range bound. Again, like I was saying, this here doesn't necessarily mean it's overtaking anything, right? With the context of seeing it against its Bitcoin value, I probably wouldn't want to touch it just because, I mean, look at this. If you're we're trying to buy in the bear, sell on the bull, right? This doesn't give us much time. It's got quick short bubbles, big sell-off, squash back down. Looks like it's building to something now, but this could quite easily just do the same thing again. And that probably has to do with your max supply here. So yeah, this is range bound, don't love it. Look at it against ETH. Yeah, and look, range bound with a bearish bias. This chop here doesn't look great to me. So with all that being said, I'm gonna throw this one in E. If I was holding Tron, I'd probably take the W with the recent price movement and put it into something better. Polkadot. All right, I think fundamentally Polkadot is a great project. It does a few things different, which I really like. We've seen obviously a big drawdown since all-time highs. Floor price above previous years, maybe going a little bit lower than I would like. Those prices in October I don't love, that's for sure. But we're seeing some gradual strength with the recent price movement. Again, infinite max supply, not a huge fan. Your circulating supply versus total supply is not great. Don't love that either. Taking a look at DApp Radar. Yeah, so unfortunately it doesn't look like DApp Radar tracks Polkadot. I'm not even concerned about the on-chain activity for this one. I'm just going to skip straight to your price action. So let's go DOT, Bitcoin. Yeah. So it's in a range. I think this is quite interesting what's happened here. I'll be watching this very closely. If we see a bounce from this range, if it decides to become an oscillator, awesome, good stuff. You can make a lot of money during a run like this. If it decides to break these levels here and continue down that way, no, just get out. Put your money somewhere else. And against ETH, I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's a bleeder. Yeah, look at that, bleeding against ETH. So again, if my money was in DOT, I would probably be, I'd sell up, take my losses, put in Ethereum. It's a safer project, it's got better price action, just is what it is. Don't take it up with me, take it up with the chart. Alright, I'm going to skip Bitcoin Cash because I don't know why it's there. As far as I'm aware, Bitcoin Cash is just a payment vessel. It's just a currency, right? It's a fork of Bitcoin that hasn't done well. If I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will let me know, but I'm not going to spend time on it for now. Toncoin. Never even heard of this one. Let's take a look. All time. Okay, so... sideways. I mean, it was only built in 2021. Haven't got much to say about that. Infinite supply. Tokenomics don't look great. What does this one do? Okay, so it was actually developed in 2018. Telegram, created by Telegram, renamed and bought out. Proof of stake, yeah, so just going to take a guess that this is a fast, cheap layer 1. Yeah, look, fast and cheap, likely centralized, not on here, not going to spend time on it. Let's move on. Tom Bitcoin looks like, I mean, obviously there's not much data. This could be a range. Probably too early to tell yet. Yeah, whether it oscillates, whether it continues down and bleeds, I don't know. Not much data. It's an early project. Guess we'll see how it goes. Ton ETH. Similar story. Very, very similar story. Just, you know, just range bound. So it's not giving me much data to go off. I'm honestly not interested. It could do well. I'm not going to spend any more time looking into it just because there's been a few red flags that have popped up already, and I know there's better projects out there just off the top of my head. So with those red flags in mind, will it do well? Yeah, probably in a bull run. Are there better places to put your money? Almost definitely. So let's put this one in. Let's put it in D. Oh yeah, going back to Polkadot. Sorry, I never rated that one. Let's put him in. Let's put Polkadot in D as well. Again, keeping an eye on what it does in the next couple of months will highly dictate whether your position on that should change. But for now, I'm not feeling super hopeful. I'm going to put it in D. Internet computer. Look at that. Huge sell-off on launch. I'm going to have to just take that out of the picture for a second to see how it's been doing. And again, it's dwarfed by this huge bleed that it experienced early on. This sort of data does make it really hard. It certainly doesn't look bullish to me. But yeah, let's keep moving. So circulating supply to total supply is fine, not great, but you get that. Max supply infinite, which I don't love. Internet computer from memory just is it's a network of computers used to create virtual machines, I think. World computer, yeah, online system you can build upon. I think like the idea is fine, but again, I'll be surprised if a lot of these use cases actually come to fruition in terms of real world utility. So something to understand about the blockchain and how it works is when compared to your local hardware and local infrastructure, by that I mean a physical computer in a room, they are absolutely dwarfed by it. They're not powerful, they're incredibly inefficient. If there is not a good reason for the computing to be decentralized, to be on a public blockchain, then why are we doing it, right? It's just a grift. It's either vaporware or it's a grift. I'll let you decide which one this one is. But that being said, hell, I mean, a lot of them are, and they can still make a lot of money. So let's take a look at the activity on this one. ICP, is it on here? So let's take a look at price action. Jump straight in. ICP, Bitcoin. How's it doing? And yeah, look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bleeder. Why not hold Bitcoin, right? If you're going to put your money somewhere, why not hold Bitcoin? Let's take a look at ICP ETH. Same story, it's just bleeding. Why buy it? Why buy it? If you want to make money, why are you buying it? So if I'm going to rank ICP, look, I think especially considering where the market cap is on this, no, we can do so much better. There's plenty of other projects that deserve to be in that spot over Internet Computer. I'm going to put this one in an F. I'd rather hold Tron, honestly, and that's I don't want to hold Tron, so that's saying something. Cosmos, Atom. Let's take a look. Yep. So we have a higher floor price, big drawdown, recent strength, not by much, but a little bit. Max supply infinite. We're just seeing that over and over and over again with these layer ones. Again, that probably has to do with an inflation rate that they supply for those who are participating in, who are upholding the network through proof of stake. Taking a look at DApp Radar, there's Cosmos on here. So yeah, let's pitch it against Bitcoin and Ethereum now. So we have Atom, BTC, and we're just seeing chop. Just chop. Chop is fine, but if my investment isn't going to be gaining on Bitcoin, I'd rather just hold Bitcoin. Especially going into if we're going into a recession or something like that, why the hell would I want to own something like this when I can own the world's hardest asset? Let's take a look at against Ethereum. And it's a bleeder. Again, what's the point? What's the point? Yeah, I'm going to put this one beside Tron. Not a huge fan. Near Protocol. Alright, how's this one been doing? Again, big drawdown. Recent strength. Circulating to total is fine. Max supply, no data. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, this one is just a fast and cheap layer one again. Uses sharding to do that, which is fine. Sharding works. Funnily enough, its biggest selling point to me fundamentally is just that human readable account names. I think that's quite funny. Yeah, maybe a little bit more accessible to the average person. But let's take a look. DApp Radar, is it on here? Yeah, it is. So DApps, right? Sort by DApps. Our near protocol is not doing great. Smart contracts. Yeah, doing okay. I mean, hell, it's above Solana, right? So that's got to say something. Unique active wallets. Look at that. Again, this sort of stuff can be manipulated or misleading, but I like to see it. I really do like to see it. DeFi, It's fine for where it is, like where it's ranked. That's totally fine. NFT volume. I don't think we had data for near with the NFT volume. Yeah. So look, maybe it just doesn't do NFTs or something like that. You know, like that might not be its use case, which is fine. Transactions, again, great. I'm loving this combination of transactions with unique active wallets. Really good sign, right? Really good sign. And DApp volume down a bit, but have to remember we're getting what number is near? Yeah, this is, I mean, number 26. We're getting down the list a fair bit. We can't be too picky. I think that's pretty promising. Let's see how it's been stacking up against Bitcoin. So taking a look at how it stacks up against Bitcoin, this is an interesting chart. Not too sure how to interpret this exactly. Yeah, so obviously this was your second sort of mania alt season during the last bull run. That sort of second hump. It obviously did quite well there. Since then we have a bleeds against Bitcoin, and we're seeing this strength as it bottoms out here. Are we going to see this become an oscillator? Maybe. If it is, hell, that's a big run. That's a big run against Bitcoin. But that doesn't need to happen either. I think, especially after taking a look at DApp Radar, it's probably, I feel like the current probably is pushing it up rather than down. Obviously that's only if we continue to get positive price movement from Bitcoin allowing an alt season, right? But yeah, I'd be keeping, very similar to Polkadot, right? Like this is a range. If I see this break down, if the price gets down here, nah, I'm done with it. Not going to look at it, delete it. But if we see strength here, this could be a really good thing. So near is definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on, especially considering all the on-chain stuff we were looking at earlier. With that in mind, near, I'm going to put him in I'm going to put this in an A, just because, again, this was number 26. Yeah, number 26, really good on-chain. I'm probably not going to buy in just yet, but this is something I'm going to be checking quite regularly, because if I start to see strength there, yeah, I'm probably going to add it. Right? What do we got next? Aptos. Not sure what Algorand's doing there. Let's get rid of him. Let's put him to the side. So Aptos, let's take a look at that. So yeah, drawdown, bottom. Yeah, so it looks like this is quite a new project. We aren't sitting, considering that this was, yeah, so it looks like there's quite a new project. It was obviously built in the bear of 2022, and we haven't seen definitive strength from it yet. But it's holding its own. It's fine. It's a new project. You can't expect too much data from this. Your circulating to total is horrific. Yeah, don't love that ratio there. Max supply, again, infinite, probably just because it's inflationary if I had to take a bet. What does Aptos do? Alright, so Rust-based programming language. This is going to really help it in an AI-fueled narrative, right? For those that don't know, Rust is a programming language created by Facebook. It is really popular for creating artificial intelligence systems. And yeah, if we start to see an AI mania bull run, this has every reason to move. Okay? provided that we just don't get dumped on or rugged by all of this. I'm curious if this has a lockup period. I might look that up off the stream later. You can definitely do it yourself as well. Just see if these are able to be dumped on us in the next year or two. So on DApp Radar, let's take a look. DApps. DApps is off the page. Okay, not great. Smart contracts. Again, it's not on the page, off the page, not interested. Unique active wallets. Okay, so coming in number 12, not bad. Again, we have to remember that this is a new project. Okay, it hasn't. Ethereum obviously has been around forever. Solana's been around for a while. BNB's been around for a while. There's been time for these developers to build on those ecosystems. Aptos, it's just been around in a bear market, right? It hasn't had that much time. But unique active wallets, we're definitely seeing interest there. Let's take a look at DeFi. Okay, now this is starting to get better. So DeFi is looking great. Really love to see that. NFT volume, obviously nothing there. Maybe it doesn't do them. Maybe there just aren't any. Maybe there's no data. Transactions, let's sort that. So again, like, it's holding its own. It's not crazy good, but yeah, certainly nothing wrong with that. And then DApp volume. Okay, that's interesting actually. So DApp volume is quite big when we apparently only have 16 dApps built on Aptos. So yeah, like I said, this is built on Rust. There's a really good narrative there. The apps being built on it are probably very hypey at the moment, right? There's a lot of interest in AI. Yeah, I think if we see this number grow, we're going to see this number grow. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Aptos, I probably put Aptos. I want to get exposure to the AI narrative. I'm probably going to add this one to my portfolio. I think it's great. I'll put it in S tier. Next, we have Injective. Alright, so yeah, look at this. Huge price movement. We're already in price discovery. It's blasted past its all-time high from the last bull run. Circulating to total is fine. No data for max supply, but that's alright. What does Injective do? Okay, so yeah, this is just a fast and cheap one again. Proof of stake. It's one thing I'm saying that's interesting is just the 40% of fees generated given to developers to incentivize them to build on Injective. That's interesting. Haven't seen that before. Let's see how it plays out. Let's take a look at DApp Radar. Nothing. Let's see if it's on here. Yeah, it's not here. Alright, so let's just jump straight into price action. Like I've been doing, I'm just going to plot it against Bitcoin. And yeah, look at that. Rocket ship. This is looking like Solana, right? Like, just absolutely unstoppable. Put it against Ethereum. And again, similar story, just shooting up. Now obviously it's had a lot of price action recently. Would I buy it? I think it's probably could it do well? Yeah, definitely. It is doing well. Anyone who bought it down here, well done. but I feel like, at least for myself, that ship might have sailed. I missed out. I'm probably not going to try and jump on it now. Yeah, but well done to anyone who already owns a bag. I'm sure you're patting yourself on the back for it. Injective, I'm going to put it with Solana. Again, incredible price action. Anyone who did buy it's doing well. I'm probably not going to add it to my portfolio though. So next we have Kaspa. Last one, lucky last. Alright, so yeah, this one hasn't been around for too long either, and it looks like it's been relatively up only since its inception. Again, anyone who bought this, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that that was a great decision. Circulating supply, it's fine. Honestly, like that's fine. I'm happy with that. Max supply looks good as well. That's really bullish. What does Kaspa do? Proof of work. Awesome. I'm glad to see proof of work making a comeback, because I think the whole proof of stake narrative, there's so many of them. I think it's personally inferior to proof of work. I think proof of work creates real tangible value for your cryptocurrencies. And yeah, I'm happy to see proof of work making a comeback. This price action is awesome against the US dollar. Again, this is token number 33. It's high enough up that it's going to get eyeballs on it, and during a bull run, I think it can do really well. I'm feeling good about this so far. Let's see if it's on DApp radar. Alright, this one's not on DApp radar. Let's just jump straight into its pitting it against Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yep, so no surprises here. Just on an absolute tear. I imagine it's going to be the same story for Ethereum. I think most of your projects are not going to keep up with price action like this. These are your lucky ones. You know, these are the ones that are just doing really well. Yeah, almost the same chart, just unstoppable. Yeah, it looks good. So Kaspa, I think I really like it. I am probably going to put it in A tier. I think it is comparable in terms of temptation to add it to my portfolio, comparable with NIA and Ethereum. Really promising stuff. I'd like to see some on-chain data for it. Unfortunately, it's not on DApp radar. I'll probably do some research on that after I end the video. If it's one that interests you, obviously do your own research. You should be doing it anyway. But for now, what I'm going to add to my portfolio is probably Aptos. So that's the winner of this round. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe so we can hang out again. Give it a thumbs up. Chat to you later.